Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and Degenerates, and we are continuing our Man vs. Nature lineup. By the way, I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host John, and yeah, we're doing Into the Wild, directed by Sean Penn, and it's about the real life. Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Literally just watched the movie. What do you mean? I'm kidding. But yeah, it's another heavy movie with heavy themes, and you're like, huh. You know what? I won't mind rewatching this again. To be honest, even though it has the saddest of endings I've ever seen.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I don't mind
Yeah.
seeing this again
Yeah.
because I do like the premise of it. Dude just goes out and just becomes one with nature.
Yeah.
Very hippy dippy way of doing it.
Fulfills what he thinks is his calling, and for the most part, you're like, yeah, I think this is your calling. And by the end, you're like, maybe you should have prepared better. That's just me. But yeah, this is about Christopher McCandless ditching everything he knows and just going out for the title Into the Wild to Alaska and just journey there. That's most fascinating. And he talks to some interesting individuals, such as the hippies in the van, who are kind of bickering with each other, but they find their passion for each other again. And they're also quite concerned for Christopher because they're like, why are you out here all by yourself? Don't you have, people who love
Family.
you? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, the start of this movie, you just see him getting dropped off near Alaska, pretty much reaching his end goal.
Yeah.
He's hunting. He already has a beard. It's 1992.
Yeah.
And the man's pretty much there. Or how did he get here? As he tries to live his life, tries to acclimate to his new environment, which is the magic bus.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. The time period is 2 years or few weeks before Magic Bus.
Yeah.
Magic Bus is where he stayed in Alaska, which is probably one of his final days in.
Yeah.
And we get a reason why he went on this journey. The man clearly is an adventurer at heart. Clearly wants to get out in the world, but sadly he was kind of held down by
his parents
and modern
society.
Yeah, societal norms where you have to graduate, you have to have a decent job, you have to be a straight A student and be successful.
Yeah.
Where clearly this guy didn't want any of that. Even with his parents are offering him a new car, and he's just like, what's wrong with my Datsun? I like my Datsun. I don't need things. I don't need new things. I will say he overreacted in that situation. You could have just said no.
Yeah.
But but yeah, even he was like, I don't want anything. I feel free when I was penniless.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you can also tell that they weren't in the best situation, especially with his dad and mom. The time when he's talking to himself of yeah, let your son do the barbecue. Quiet, woman. I'm talking. And then you see parts of it too. You're like, damn. And I read somewhere that this movie doesn't show how abusive real life was, or their dad was at least. So there's that.
Yes, as he explained, his dad is one of the first few guys who contributed a lot to the NASA program.
Yeah.
And he's a pretty big deal. And I forgot what his mom used to be. But yeah, there were these successful people in life, and they just went on with life wanting materialistic things. Hey, I like materialistic things a lot. But yeah, to him, it doesn't really work for him.
Yeah.
So once he graduated college, he just gave an excuse to his parents where he's just I'll send them the money for the tuition money for college and all that. I'll just have to fix up a couple of things here,
And never does.
And never does.
Yeah.
The man just went off, went to Arizona, got almost drowned in his car because of like high tides or
Yeah.
like flash floods.
Yeah.
And then I guess that's when he just started his journey.
Yeah, that's how it began. He also meets Vince Vaughn. He works for Vince Vaughn for a bit in his farm.
Hmm.
He also learns how to hunt properly, like when the meat's right, or
With Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
There you go. The guy from Hangover.
Yeah. Took me a while to be like, alright, that's you. Shit.
Yeah.
And you're not
Yeah.
funny in this one. Huh. That's curious.
Oddly enough, this movie came out in 2007. Never really heard of this movie
Yeah.
until like recently.
Some of the more underrated ones. I think I just saw this on Netflix and I was like, what's this about? And I was like,
Yeah, I also think saw this on Netflix, but never gave it a chance until like this year.
yeah. I think, yeah, was it during the pandemic? Yeah, it was during the pandemic. I was like, going out. Remember that? I might as well watch this.
I feel like you would have been the safest person from that situation. The
Right.
fact that he's so secluded and away from everything.
Right? But like, this journey is such a interesting one because all along you're like, I get why you want to be separate from society, but at the same time in your mind you're like, you have it good. Except for abusive parents, you have it quite good.
Yeah.
Better than most, if I'm being honest.
For me, I do agree. Like, if you're in an abusive, horrible environment, get away from it.
Yeah.
This guy really got away from it.
Took it too hard.
And not for me personally, I would have not chosen that. You know?
Yeah, I would be like, you know what? I'm moving to another province.
Yeah, or like, I could have just gone with those hippie people.
Right?
You know? I wouldn't mind that. But I love his adventures.
Yeah.
He just hitchhikes. Kid doesn't get tired, but he just hitchhikes. The man was playing Death Stranding before Death Stranding came out.
Goes to Mexico too. You're like, Jesus.
Yeah. Goes to Mexico, sneaks back into the border. Way more successfully than most people.
I mean,
like, that's well, I guess he is
white.
White and American.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're like, hey, just wait right here, we'll get your papers. And he just books it. And I'm like,
I guess
damn.
he's not in trouble. Yeah. He also has, what do you say, a romantic thing with Kristen Stewart?
it was supposed to be until we found out her age.
Yeah.
Even thankfully, he's not a creep.
Yeah.
It's like, I was like, how old are you? It's like, I'm 16. I was like, no.
No.
Even like at the part where they both said their goodbyes,
Yeah.
where I thought, I was like, don't you dare kiss, don't you dare kiss. And they just hugged. I was like, what the
Yeah. He knows better than that. And all this time, we keep going back to his time in the Magic Boss. Like, everything seems good. Like, he's hunting well, he's gathering food well. He may be skinny, but like that when you're out there, you don't have much choices. Of like, you know
Yeah.
what? Maybe I'll conserve food for now.
And I love it when he does experience these people where, yeah, clearly these people like being secluded alone. Like, they like to live alone, especially in California, I think. They had that, like, love, that thing that he went with Kristen Stewart with, like, it said love, and then they put their hands together.
Yeah.
There's a guy who just lives alone. He's like, oh, this is my calling now. Like, I like it here. I don't need much. I'm just happy. It's like, a lot of the times I would just like to have that mentality where, like, this is enough.
Yeah.
So-
Just fully content with life. You're like, huh.
Yeah. And knowing that he does have an abusive father, on this journey he meets a couple of good father figures.
Yeah.
And these father figures found a son figure in him.
Yeah.
Like with Rain, I think his name was.
Mhm.
The hippy dippy family. Like, they would just hang out, but it just seemed like they're kind of friends. I'm not sure.
Also, with the old guy, Ron.
Ron, I think that's the one where it like felt the most like, oh, they were father and son.
Yeah. Where Ron
And-
has nothing left in his world, where he asks Christopher, like, can you consider being my grandson? Can I adopt you? He's like, all right, we'll talk about it when we get back.
Well-
Life says otherwise, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then you just see Ron crying. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, like
Sorry,
you,
not going at this chronologically. These are very spread apart stories.
yeah,
But that scene alone was the last part of him being with society. Besides, the truck driver that dropped him off.
and yeah, like things eventually go for the worst. Starting with the moose he kills and the meat that goes horribly bad. He's like, fuck,
Yeah.
shit.
I did not know once flies start getting into meat, like it's just done. That's
Yeah.
it.
I was like, but don't. Then again, we both of us live in a very convenient world where that doesn't happen. Like, oh, I guess there's no flies. I guess the meat's still good. Sure.
Yeah, a lot of the things here did make us think like, oh yeah, I forgot how hard it was before modern technology to
Yeah.
keep the things that we take for granted,
Yeah.
a regular thing, like
I think
meat.
I read somewhere that this story shows that, yeah, modern society and modern living is quite hard, but nature's just ruthless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Especially when
Like-
he's like, you know what? I'm done. I want to go home. I want to. Oh, fuck.
That river.
That river is too fast. My bridge is
Oh.
gone.
Fuck, I did that didn't register. I thought he just went. I thought he had like another goal in mind. Like I thought he was like, oh, I want to go deeper into Alaska.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he wanted to go home.
Yeah, until you're like, wait. The music's like, alright, it's time to go back to normal society. He's like, alright. Ah, fuck, I can't cross that. I'm gonna die.
Yeah. Ah, God.
And him barely finding animals, like, I'm fucking hungry. Where are all the animals? Why?
He was wasting bullets. He was like, where the fuck are the animals? I'm fucking hungry. I was like, don't waste your shots, bruh. How much bullets do you have?
Right?
Jesus. And like, also, I feel like if you were to live in the wild, no offense to the actual dude, what if you've been like, maybe fruits and, berries might have
Been nice.
been
too.
like another option,
Yeah,
just in case you can't get game?
instead of just random plants of like, I don't think that's gonna sustain you at all. At all.
Yeah. Oh god. Wait. Yeah. No. And like, oh lord, just one bad day.
Yeah.
One bad day. Like he's, as I said, like in our Castaway video, I like it that these people would like think outside of the box. They try to do shit like just to move forward. Like think of new things to move forward. Like him with a raft, jumping from one hippie people to another.
Yeah.
Like there's this nudist place, and then him trying to survive without meat, and he's like, you know what, maybe I could do this. Save things to eat, and he just looks it up in a book and starts scouring and starts finding berries or plants that he can eat.
Yeah.
Sure, they're not enough, but he's like, anything will do. But sadly, man did not read the fine print
Yeah.
and just mistook one berry or plant that says inedible, edible.
Yeah.
I blame the author for that one. Please make inedible and edible bolder colors, bolder font.
Yeah. So for the person who might want to try stuff, they don't die. And it's not just inedible. It's like, oh, your stomach shuts down and you die. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah. Like you starve to death. You start throwing up and shit. And you're like,
Yeah.
and he has that realization. You're just like, fuck, I'm gonna die here.
Yeah. And then you're like, day 100 something, I'm alive, but at the weakest point of life. And you're like, how bad? Oh my god, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
The bear though, I was like,
The bear even was like,
no.
nah. like you've gone through so much, man. Like I'll let you pass.
Like, I'll just look for a moose. You're just nothing. And like, you see him, right? I just tried to survive the last few days of his life. He writes something very poignant, where it's like, happiness is only real when it's shared with people. And like, when he writes that, you see all the people he met and their lives just going on. Well, he knows his life is ending, and his condition just gets worse. Like, he has explosive diarrhea. He's barely clinging on. And at the last day, I do like it that during his last moments, it shows two sides of the coin. One being very peaceful, and the other one just being scared out of your fucking mind. Of like, this is it. What the fuck? I don't want it to be it, but I can't control it. Fuck.
Yeah. Like where, you know, he has like a little bit of a vision where what it would be like once he got back from his journey, his like adventure. His family misses him. Father like accepts him. Their marriage got better.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was real life, but their marriage got better because of him being missing.
I felt bad when the dad had to go out of the house to just collapse on the street. Like,
the man literally was like, when you keep saying it is what it is, and the crippling realization
hits
finally sets in.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, Christopher dies, and like, you're stuck wondering, like, was it really his calling to be here? It was his dream. He thought it was his calling, but
yeah, but it I think it did show that like him wanting to be alone, was not his calling. As he writes down, the happiest being, the happiest is to share it with others. Sorry, I'm paraphrasing. I think that was his realization. It was like, I should have been with other people. I should have had somebody with me along this journey. But it was just him soloing it and just meeting random people. But clearly, the entire goal was just him going at it alone. When a lot of people told him, go back home. Stay here. Like with Ron, where it's just like, I can adopt you. If your family's bad there, you could have a good family here. Even like Kristen Stewart, just like kind of disappointed that she left, because clearly she was in love with him.
Yeah. I guess. I mentioned it a couple of times before we go to ratings. Like, in your philosophy, in your mind, what do you think a calling is? Is it something predestined? Is it something you work towards? I had a friend who said it's something you look back on. Like, you work on it your entire life, and then you look back and you're like, I guess that was my calling.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to spot a calling until I don't know. I don't have any like philosophical statement about that, but like, it's kind of hard to spot a calling.
Yeah.
Like, if you're good at something and you have fun doing it, that might be it. But other times, other things get in the way, or other interests kind of, catches your eye, and you just want to do it.
Yeah.
Whether it be like hiking a mountain, or hiking mountains, or going to Alaska, or making artwork. But a lot of times it changes.
Yeah.
Like especially with this one, he said the wilderness and being alone is my calling, when at his last moments he regrets everything and wants to go back home. Things change, callings change.
Yeah.
And I do agree with your friend where I think a calling is once you've kind of reached the end and you just look back and you're like, yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah. I think
you're not gonna know on the moment.
That is true. For me, at least, I think it is something you work towards, but it does change. Like, to the audience, if you don't know, I was in tourism for the longest time, but like, towards the end, I was like, do I really want to do this? And then life changed, and now I'm teaching. So, and now I'm like, I guess this might be my calling. I'll just see where life goes,
Yeah, don't settle. Yeah. I say do what Christopher, what's the Christian?
Christopher.
Yeah, like don't settle. Well, don't eat poisonous berries either. But like, but don't settle. Things will change. Careers, passions, jobs. Like, these things will change.
Yeah.
You just have to go with the flow, and then when you look back, and like, which one's the one I stuck with the most? And then that was probably your call. We don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? You might be the lucky few who knows exactly what they want at a specific moment, and you could put your attention and your efforts into it and make it work.
Yeah.
Kind of like with this podcast, you know.
Yeah.
So this might be our
definitely.
calling, might not be. Would we be here in the next 5 years? We don't know.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're just enjoying the ride.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we've gotten to the end of this ride for this video at least. So what would you rate Into the Wild?
Into the Wild is not for everybody.
Yeah.
I have to say this. It is not for everybody. Everybody would like to have a happier ending. Everybody would have loved to have seen him go back with his family. Maybe some people might want a movie where it's a little faster paced and has a lot going on besides philosophical ideologies or what other people's view on the world. You know, like some might like action movies where it's a little faster paced. This one's very slow,
Yeah.
and it's just you're just there along for the ride. And for me, it makes me feel like I want to be on that journey. I would love to experience a journey like that, minus the end part. I don't ever want to go to Alaska. Oh no, I do. I would love to go to Alaska, but like
More
not that
prepared?
no, not that part.
Oh.
I like the little towns where there's a nook
Oh.
and cranny and like only like maybe 700 people live in it.
Oh, definitely.
Like I'm okay with that.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, this movie, I would say, is an 8.5 out of 10. Again, it's not for everybody. I did enjoy this one. I do love the experience. I love the concept of it. And as Enzo said, like it did make me think of like what is a calling
Yeah.
when clearly passions and goals change as you get older or as you go through life. And yeah, I love it that we get to think about this, even though it does have a little bit of a bleak ending. You know, like it still makes you think.
Yeah.
And I really did enjoy this movie. Will I watch it again? Probably not. Like I'll just look back at the good parts.
Yeah, I'll also give this an 8. Like, it's a pretty good movie. Like you said, not for everybody. Especially if you're like, should I go into the wild unprepared? No. So just do adequate research and actually think about it. Like, am I really prepared for nature? Maybe not. At least for me. The audience, some members of the audience might be different. Maybe they are more adventurous or more prepared or more, prepared in every right way. But yeah, it's a pretty good movie. As you said, it's a pretty bleak ending, even though it's a sad ending, but the music, like, life just goes on. You're like, huh,
Yeah.
okay.
By the way, sorry, have you finished?
Good movie, that's all I'll say.
Okay. Like, by the way, if you guys are into like wilderness exploring and camping, and like maybe going into the final frontier kind of thing, I forgot his name, but if somebody could write it in the comments, there's this guy on TikTok. Like, if you know who I'm talking about, he's this guy who started out as a lawyer, and now he makes TikTok videos of him surviving in the wild, where he teaches you how to make a bed out of sticks and wood, how to prep bread for a camping trip. He would have like a bag of dough, and he would just cook it on the spot. And I was like, what the fuck? And like everybody in like the comment section and in TikTok calls him a Chad because there's this guy. He looks like a family man. Like he just looks like a Ned Flanders kind of person, but he's clearly a badass. Knowing the fact that he could survive this kind of situation.
Man's clearly prepared. If you remember the TikTok, please send it to me.
Oh yeah, dude. His videos are so fun. They're very long, but like it's so fun to watch because I'm like, wow, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. Huh. Alright. You have anything to add for Into the Wild?
No, I think we've pretty much sung our praises for that movie. We
Yeah.
both clearly enjoyed it, but we're both kind of sad and philosophical about it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been our video for Into the Wild. What do you guys think? What's your favorite Sean Penn movie? There's a couple that are pretty good. I'm forgetting for the life of me, but Mystic River. That's a pretty good one in my opinion.
I haven't seen it yet.
It also stars Kevin Bacon. So yeah.
Okay,
But yeah,
I'll give it one shot.
if you like our videos, please leave them a like, subscribe to the channel, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. I am Zoda's voices on TikTok individually. So if you want to see me do funny voices, maybe, I don't know, Thanos, Mufasa, who knows. If you're interested in that, please give it a follow. The link is down below. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at JomGOM_ on Instagram. It is my art account.
And until the next one, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.